came here searching for answers. Instead, we leave with more questions. Ancient religious orders, living gods. Was that thing we saw like the emissaries, or something else? Just a trick? I'm filled with rage at having my thoughts played with so. I'm not going to bow down and worship some false god or real god. I am my own person, and my family its own family. What have the Order of the Pariah unlocked here? What devil have they made a deal with? I'm going to find out. I'm glad Nadina will live. Very glad. We all need to get out of here right now and get that information to other people as soon as possible. We can't waste time on this. I feel if we do, something terrible is going to happen to the Third Horizon. This is Red Moon role-playing.
The Red Moon hovers over the desolate, frozen wastes of Azrak III. The water in the entry hole you made in the ice now lies still and silent beneath you. The faint light that was coming from the sugar globes and the algae has faded, boiled by the strange heat generated by the implosion of the Zafirah. The destroyer gone, crushed, as was the strange butterfly ship that was hidden within it. The legionnaires, Dala and Jasma, they too are gone. Perhaps for the best. They seem to claim to worship the Vestal in the ship. Uhaya, the beast. Were they truly part of Nazarim's sacrifice? Do they even still exist? Weren't they all hunted down and killed during the Portal Wars? And what was that Vestal? It was so unlike any being you have ever seen. These are perhaps some of the thoughts that go through your head as you are being winched aboard the Red Moon, still wearing your exos. Pig, Carlo, and Nadina Sarish, secret branch agents from the consortium that you managed to save in the chaos below. As you get aboard the Red Moon, you are immediately rushed to be decontaminated and your frost-covered exos are taken off. Nadina takes deep breaths as her exo is removed and is pale as a sheet, and you can see why quite quickly. A shot from an AK pistol has ripped through her exo and she's bleeding from her leg. Peg, it's not life-threatening, but it does need attention quite quickly. And you see that the boy has come over to you now with a towel, Peg.
Thanks. As I gotten out of the exo myself and see that I'm, well, at least physically intact after all that just happened. A lot of things are going through my head as I take that towel. And I quickly try and get Deathlord and also Carlo, once he's out, to help me get her back to the med bay. I'll need to have a look at this. Yeah, wow. That was a lot to process.
And you do that, and you begin working on Nadina in the med bay. Carlo, Aisha moves up to hug you. I was so worried. The sensors, they kept picking up what was happening to the ship. An implosion shouldn't be possible at that depth, though. What even happened, and where are the Legionnaires?
They didn't make it. And, well, I sort of just peter off a little. I'm not entirely sure how to put the situation myself. I'm not entirely sure what happened. So much of it now is in doubt. Did I see what I think I saw, or was I being manipulated in some way? Very hard to tell. For now, though, I just say, look, we have the disc. We need to get out of here. We need to get out of this space right now. We need to get back home and let others know what we found. This has gone beyond just one ship. Understood? Have you been checking the readings? Are there any enemy forces incoming? Have we been found out yet?
No, nothing yet. The every patrol is continuing moving in the same way as they have up until now. Whatever happened doesn't seem to have alerted anyone, at least not yet. I've already set a course for the portal. We should be there, of course, well, it'll take us 3 days to get there, so I'm not gonna be able to get out of here that quickly, but...
Alright then. But I'm clearly quite antsy, as I just say. Alright, this is good enough, I suppose. Let's just get out of here, okay?
Okay. Are you okay, Izan? You look shaken.
I don't know. This is potentially quite big. Potentially, there might be a whole new... Let's call them a faction, for now. There might be a faction behind everything, and they might be trying to turn everyone else on each other, creating a system-wide war, with the goal, possibly, I don't know, eradication of everyone who isn't them.
Well, that would be very bad. Well, I'm not going to pump you on information now. You can rest a bit, and maybe we can talk more about the details later and see what we can figure out. But I'll get started on analyzing the disc as well, see if we can get some more information out of it.
Yes, and I'm sure I don't need to tell you, sister. Just make sure everything is heavily encrypted. Make sure you're not spreading that disc across the whole ship. I don't want it connected to any networks. We need to try and keep that information as secure as possible.
I understand. And she moves off to do just that, and we jump over to Pig. You are in the med bay, and Nadina is lying there on the bed, and you've perhaps given her a sedative so that you can work on this in peace. Would you like to roll a medicurgy to see if this can be done successfully or not?
I am going through these things in my mind. I'm usually quite focused when it comes to both mechanics and medical procedures. It's just that now, today, it's just... there's so much. And I'm thinking, who am I actually gonna talk to about this? Who can I believe? Who can I trust? Who... if they were with the Nezarene sacrifice, does this mean that the entire Legion is with them? Or is this just an offshoot? And I have to force myself back to what I'm actually doing and take a deep breath as there's actual blood coming out here. I can't not be focused, and so I pray. I actually start muttering to myself, "Oh, Lady of Tears, let my hands be steady, let my mind be sharp and focused as the rivers and as the and I kind of stumble a little bit on what I'm saying, but the essence is still there. I get a success."
And you're able to take care of this wound. She's going to be fine. You have really good equipment in here, and you know what you're doing. These kinds of injuries, people being shot with accelerator weapons, that happened all the time back in the war. You're used to this. You know what to do, and you do it. And some time passes. You get closer and closer to the portal. We'll cut ahead maybe a little more than a day. Carlo, with some time to relax and analyze what data you were able to secure, you find yourself in close to the kitchen area of the ship. You see Nadina. She's sitting by one of the small windows that are here that allows you to see out into space. She's wearing a bright red embroidered chemise and has applied flawless Zenithian makeup. She looks quite different from before when she was in military fatigues and all about the mission. She's taking deep drags on a medwak pipe of tabak, and in front of her is a large pot of kava, staring out towards the Uharan star. Oh, Carlo. She notices you coming. Hi. There's some for you if you want.
Oh, I won't say no to some good kava, but I will sip at some. I'll sit at the table, and I'll say, taking a moment to scratch at my stubble, because I haven't had time to shave. Or rather, I have had the time to shave, but I haven't bothered. How are you, my dear consortium agent?
Oh, much better now. Thanks to you and thanks to Peg. I still struggle to accept what happened. I've been thinking, if Dala and Jasma, if they were truly members of Nazariem's sacrifice, well, then that means that the Legion has been infiltrated. Possibly the Consortium and the Hegemony as well. I mean, otherwise, why would these particular Legionnaires be assigned to this particular mission?
It begs a few questions, doesn't it? If the Legion are infiltrated, as are, of course, the Order of the Pariah, why bother having both factions have a little standoff? After all, from an outside point of view, you'd think the factions are against each other, which of course makes sense. Why is that part of the plan? Is it a smokescreen? A cover? If everyone thinks the factions are fighting, no one will suspect the real enemy.
You might be right. I don't know who to trust anymore. Did Secret Branch know? And if they did, what's going to happen to me? Now that I survived this, now that I potentially know too much, was I expendable?
That's an excellent question. I suppose you'll have to think for yourself. Why would they even send you? I'm pretty sure you didn't know anything before you were sent on the mission, so if they didn't want you to survive, it's a bit odd that they would bother sending you in the first place, rather than just, I don't know, killing you in a cantina.
At least we have it. Well, the Emerald Disc. The thing that proves what happened to the Zafirah. I mean, we know it. We know that something happened, right? That it was attacked, potentially in the darkness between the stars, by some butterfly ship serving an eternal emperor. This First Horizon? But I mean, how could that be? How could that be possible?
That's the one thing we do have, isn't it? We currently have indisputable evidence, regardless of what you believe about gods, that a force that exists in between the dark attacked those vessels. And we also can extrapolate from that at least the Order of the Pariah didn't want this information to be found. Or they wanted it found, but maybe they wanted to find it, to destroy it, to cover up the evidence. Maybe. I'm trying to figure out why they made such a big show of defending it. Why are they defending those free systems? Is that some sort of... Is there base or their headquarters or a portal that they can use to access the dark somewhere in one of those systems? Is that what they're planning to make their move?
I wonder. I have a feeling that they're trying to get into Tawan just like everyone else. I mean, that must be it, right? These things, these butterflies, they must have broken through at Tawan. That's why nothing on our end is allowed through. And if that's true, that could mean war, right?
I mean, at this point, I wouldn't say could. I would say definitely. I'm struggling to think of a solution that doesn't involve war at this point. People who are not part of them need to be in that system. We need to be in that system, and we need to, I don't know, destroy whatever they're doing, and ravage the whole system. I don't know. It's a little beyond me at this point. I'm sure it's even beyond you. Out of interest, what are you going to report?
I need to think about that. I need to first make sure that whoever I'm reporting this to is someone I can trust, right? Because they assigned those legionnaires to me. So, that's bad. We have some time still, so I'll figure it out. Anyway, Carlo, and she touches your hand and smiles at you. Thank you again for saving me. You took a big risk down there. A lot of people would just have swam away, tried to save themselves. But you made an effort to pull me back and to save my life. I thought I was done for.
I confess she has a point. I do think it over to myself. Why did I stick my neck out for her? I'm not 100% sure. I do sort of say, well, maybe I've grown fond of you. And you didn't seem to be trying to kill me down there, so sometimes it's better to have some allies. Isn't it? No?
She smiles. She stands up and she moves in behind you and gently touches your shoulders. Hurts a little bit. You can feel how tight they are. As I thought. Stress. When I was stationed in Khorsabad, we had a courtesan from Alam's temple assigned to our negotiation team. Whenever things weren't going our way, he would give me this massage that was out of this horizon. And I think I picked up a few tricks that he used. Why don't you swing by my quarters a bit later and I can show you, she says with a mischievous smile.
Well, I don't think that would be a problem. Believe it or not, the captain used to be actually quite good at that themselves.
You don't say. And we cut to Pig. Pig, you wanted to braid Aisha's hair, right?
Yes, I did.
That's what you're doing right now. Where are you? And is the boy with you, or is it just the two of you?
I think we'll be sitting in the arboretum. Or, yeah. It's nice and quiet in there. And I'm slowly, methodically braiding one braid at a time. And I'm talking and just... I want to talk about other things. I want to talk about stuff that is not concerning life and death. I'm like anything but fighting in politics or icons. But it is what's on my mind. I try because there's something about her that just brings something else out of me, and I wanna not discard that completely. So I ask her, in a weird, kind of casual way, so, are you finding any pretty princes from the other family to branch the family out into?
She is working away on a tabula as you do this. She's running simulations with Suleiman of the optimal flight path to take towards the portal in case your cover has been blown. You did pass by a squadron of Order fighters previously that were headed for Zuhal. Not completely impossible that they had been dispatched to investigate why the salvage ship, the Mishal, why it disappeared from all scopes. Your cover should be solid, but still, it's best to be prepared. So that's why she's doing that. Oh, I'm not sure that I'm all that cut out for that kind of domestic life. I grew up in excess, luxury, discipline, never-ending stream of social functions, parties, and fancy dinners. I guess I was lucky. Most people would kill for that kind of a childhood. But, you always find some reason to be unhappy with things, right? No matter how perfect they are.
Yeah, well, I'm not one of those that would be really jealous for such a thing. I didn't love the jungles or anything in Ohara where I grew up. I don't think back of any of that as, fond memories, but I don't really envy anyone that had a life like yours either. But anyway, I was also thinking about Farouk, and I was wondering, did the two of you, like, did you have something, like, beyond friendship?
I was in love with him, I think. A crush, at least. It's silly. He was so much more experienced and older than I was. I mean, I was just a young girl. But there was something about him.
He's gorgeous. You do. I mean, who wouldn't have some kind of crush on him, right?
Did you?
No, we never had anything, and I don't know if I wanted that either. It's just, he sure was something special. Always so close to his emotions and great at motivating us and keeping the crew together. It's like a space that's hard to fill now. I had this thought that I got a lot of skills that he didn't have in very different kinds of ways, but I wonder if we would need a captain, you know. I wonder if I keep teaching Deathlord all the mechanical sides of things. Not saying that I could possibly fill his shoes, I mean, Farouk's in any kind of way, but we'd still be a democracy. Just imagine if someone that needed to pull the fast decisions around here, and when we all need to pull together, I wonder sometimes if that could be me, you know.
Why not? You're a decisive person, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm not perfect. I done a lot of impulsive things and acted on what I thought in the moment, that I need this or I need that, and you know, sometimes I get a little bloodthirsty, I say, and I laugh a bit.
She laughs with you, and you do see a slight hint of she saw some very bloodthirsty things happen, not by your hand, but by the Legionnaire's hand previously. Carlo said that that's not what you were doing. That's not how you operated normally. But perhaps there's a little bit of a worry at the mention of that.
Yeah. I kind of grow a little bit quiet, and I say, well, anyway, I got some ideas for what we can do next. What people we could perhaps talk a bit more with that wouldn't have a definite connection to this Nezarene sacrifice and things.
Well, that's good. We're gonna need all the allies that we can get. Anyway, being here on this ship with you and Nizam, it's good. It's not perfect, but what is, right? And I feel like a great weight has been taken off my chest here. Like, I don't need to worry about pleasing anybody else. I can just be myself. Is that why you keep living this kind of life as well? I mean, you could settle down somewhere, set up a farm, grow carrots.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? I'm a space person at heart, though. Never really liked it anywhere planet side. If I were to set up a farm, it would be some sort of station or colony. I muse at that for a bit, but at the same time, it's not a crazy idea.
Yeah.
I like having you aboard, though. I mean, I think that's something that definitely brings a different vibe to the place. I mean, even this Nadina person, I don't know her in any kind of other way, but I feel like somehow it's just starting to build up a little nice crew of misfits, and I kind of want this something at least to be lasting. Not like we keep losing someone every here and there and someone's moving on, but to build a little family. They say that the family you choose is better.
That's a nice way of putting things, actually. It's nice to have someone to talk to, someone who understands. A real friend, she says and smiles at you. What do you think when she says that? Is that what you want to be to her? A real friend, or how do you see her?
I get this tingly sensation. I feel like a little bit of a lost joy that just bubbles up in me. And I feel like it would be neat if she could be my sister too.
Perhaps she can be. Carlo, do you swing by Nadina's quarters?
I think I do. Yes, that would be a pleasant distraction, if only for a moment.
Then she meets you at the door in a very thin silk nightgown, almost transparent. The room smells of perfume and incense. She smiles and motions invitingly for you to enter. Nadina seems to very much know what she wants. But do you? Will you give her what she wants? Or is there a part of you that wants to resist? She is an agent of the secret branch, after all. Perhaps this is all part of some conspiracy to strike at the hegemony and the Zenones.
That it certainly could be. Well, I always keep my gun nearby just in case, and screw it. I have a feeling if she'd wanted to kill me, she'd have already done it. She could have easily have done it down on the planet. No, I'm maybe in the mood for a bit of an escape, and she is an attractive individual. It's been a while. Why not? Let's relax, just for one shift. Could be nice to feel something. Besides, it's hardly a marriage proposal.
Her nightgown falls to the floor just as the door closes behind you. And we cut there. And it's the next morning. Peg and Carlo, you and Aisha are having breakfast. Carlo, while in the throes of passion in the previous shift, there was something you said to Nadina that would be embarrassing in case someone overheard it. What would that be?
Well, maybe I let slip that it had been quite a while since I'd actually known the name of someone I was sleeping with.
Peg and Carlo, you and Aisha are having breakfast. Nadina is presumably still sleeping. Aisha looks to you. So Azam, really? You tend to not know their names? She giggles. Well, it's a small ship, all right. I'm happy for you. Life is short.
Well, hang on. It's not like I don't. You know, when you're at the party and everyone's passing around the tobacco, and you know how some of the parties were when we were younger.
I think you went to different parties than I went to.
Well, that's true. You were always a little reserved. Not that that's a bad thing.
Peg, you're also here.
Yeah. I look first down at my food. I let go a little grunt that could be a suppressed laughter or something completely different. But I then look up at you, Carlo, with a look that is kind of strange for me. It's almost like a warm smile. And I just say, yeah, just look at us all sitting here. It's not really fitting to the situation, but that's all I say. And then I reach for a date and I kind of chew on it, looking a bit cheerful in a way.
I look at you a little unusually, but maybe I chuckle a little too. Having moments like this isn't terrible. But I do find myself, as I sip on my carver, feeling a little heaviness then come over me. Moments like this don't last, and they can't last, especially not now.
So I've been thinking about something. About the bombing at the betrothal. The more I think about it, the less sense it makes. Okay, so the whole Dolkassar thing. That was putting lipstick on a pig. I mean, Leod was a first-comer. And she says that she blushes and then looks at you, pig, as she realizes what she said. I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry.
I mean, what first-comer would want to marry a Zenithian, you know? That's what I think the mystery is. I gleefully grin back.
She smiles. Well, you know how Father was always on about keeping the bloodline clean and all that, protect the Zenithian heritage. I mean, the leaders of the ship families, they all say stuff like that, right? So, why would the Dinramas marry away one of their daughters on purpose to someone like Leod? I mean, why would the Cassars and the Arenites go along with that? I mean, sure, he could have been useful, but crime lords like that, they come and go, and they find ample motivation in just getting paid normally. No need to tie them into the family through blood.
Not to mention, so many people were at that wedding, as if it was an actual, proper, grand wedding. And then, of course, the Order of the Pariah came and bombed it.
Were you thinking that it was more a reason to pull people together for the sake of the bombing?
I can only imagine that Leod must have had some kind of hold on one of the big families and was blackmailing them. Which is very possible. I mean, he was procuring slaves for himself and trafficking mystics from the station on behalf of the Order. Hands in many jars. I mean, icons know what he could have provided the hegemony with.
Yes. We did find evidence that he was behind the trafficking. Could they have been covering their tracks? Maybe they decided he knew too much and that was the time to get rid of him?
Nadina has woken up and passes you all on the way to the kitchen. She lets her hand brush your hair curl as she passes and smiles. Aisha winks at you, pig.
I do a little kind of restless drumming thing on the table for a bit, like...
Nadina speaks here. I couldn't help it over here. The Dolkassar betrothal. It's a bit beyond my pay grade, but I did hear about it, given that so many of the big families were seemingly involved. My sincere condolences to the both of you on your loss, by the way.
Thank you. No, we were just musing over... It was an unusual event in the first place. Why did it happen? I don't know if we're going to be able to find out.
I think the mystery for me is more like why did it get bombed? Who were they actually after and that stuff? But I guess there's another political side to it too, now that you mention it. Why they started doing it in the first place.
Here's a thought I had, Nadina says. Who says they were actually going to go through with the marriage? I mean, betrothals are broken off all the time as families start quarreling about dowries and the like. The whole thing could just have been some kind of political play that got a tragic end due to the involvement of the martyrs. I mean, whatever it was is probably over now. Bigger fish to fry and all that.
So, along the line with what I said, with that they just wanted to bring people there to cause what, chaos?
Nah, that doesn't seem right. More just whatever they were doing with Leod. I mean, they made it look real, that much is for sure. I can't imagine that they would have wanted so many people to get hurt. I mean, the losses just in the Zanoni family were, I mean, unfathomable. You know, she shakes her head.
Wheels within wheels. Yes, there's an awful lot going on. We're a little bit out of our depth when it comes to that sort of intelligence, unfortunately.
You think that this is somehow connected to what we're finding now, in any degree, or that this signifies some kind of connection to something else?
Well, the connection that is definitely there is he was part of this trafficking operation, right? The Mystics, the Order.
Yeah.
And the Order here, and the Emissary, and there's something, isn't there? Aisha looks at at you, and Nadina nods. Yeah, but what? She shakes her head.
Yeah, what do they want with all the mystics? I mean, you think that they were being shipped out somehow to the Nazarene sacrifice or something else?
I frown a little as I say, on board that vessel, we met something that manipulated our minds, tried to make us see things that were not there, tried to control us. I believe, and I look at Aisha just for a moment, this is something that mystics are supposed to be able to do. What if they want mystics so they can, well, use such powers to aid their crusade?
What's been bugging with me too is the weaponry. If the weaponry is somehow twisting and using the darkness between the stars, what are the darkness between the stars? What is that? That's what we believe it is what catches us when we lose ourselves or something else. Like this is religious stuff. This is, I don't know, magic. How can that be sourced into weaponry? And is that then also connected to this?
Well, let's not forget, Pig, this so-called mystic magic is something that can be measured and you remember, they were experimenting in that place. They were doing things to the mystics. It was all over by the time we got there, but, well, that's just one location.
Yeah, so either they used them for recruitment to create this hierarchy of mind control, or they're using them for manipulating the mystic powers into weaponry. I mean, I suppose it's all just different kinds of weapons, but still them being used. Is that what you're getting at? I go back to Nadina.
She takes a long sip at her kava. I don't know. There's a lot of moving pieces. And what I saw on the ship I can't quite explain. We're gonna have to look at the data. We're gonna have to see what we can find out.
I think that's something we can all agree on. We need more information. We haven't got enough. Not yet.
No.
Yeah, I tried to go over again what I had written down. Was there anything else that stood out there that I might have overlooked?
The mystics, they started appearing when the emissaries appeared, so presumably there's some connection between the emissaries and the mystics. Do the first horizon, are they the same as the mystics, or are they different? Do the butterflies want the mystics? Do they? I mean, there was experiments done. The butterfly ship was there. But what does it all mean?
And if they killed him, was it just to clear their tracks then? At the wedding, that was one of the few things that it was meant to do.
Yes, and I mean, the Judicator and everyone you've spoken to was sure that was the work of the Order. That the Order were the ones behind that. I mean, the Order were the ones who had taken the mystics, right?
So they had gotten what they wanted, and now they were just cleaning up their tracks. And the wedding was a good place to get everyone involved there and then kill them off.
It feels like you're getting closer and closer to unraveling this mystery and unraveling how these different things are connected. It feels like there must be a connection. It cannot just be random things that are just happening. It cannot be chaos. There's more than that. There is some kind of plan at play here. But there's more than two players. There's many of them. We'll leave you a little bit confused here at this breakfast. You continue the conversation, but any final answers, even if you come up with them, you have no way of finding out if it is the truth or not. But you have a lot of theories, and perhaps some new ones that you didn't have before. The following days pass in a blur, and we cut to you in the queue, attempting to leave Uharu. The space around the Uharan portals is bustling with activity as the Order's massive blockade has shut the system down completely. The Dabarani ships are chattering amongst each other. Everyone is being inspected by the Order, by the Icons. This is going to take forever. With some time now since what happened underneath the ice, how have you processed what happened? And what have you, Pig? You're right now, you're doing something together with a boy. What is it?
We're looking at the blackened glass-like material in the laboratory. We are working with it. And I'm just saying to him, like, yeah, how does this technology supposed to harness the darkness between the stars form into a material weapon? That's my big question. It completely blows my mind. I wonder if a mystic can talk to this, you know? And I look at him. You know, sometimes these things talk to me. Weapons talk to me. They just like people. This is what I've been telling you about. Sometimes things that want to be fixed, they will tell you how they want to be fixed. But how do you talk to something that harnesses something like that?
He nods at you with big eyes as though a great truth has been revealed.
I think that to myself and I put it to the side. And then I just ruffle the boy's hair with all my 4 arms at once and I start laughing.
The hair becomes very, very messy. And he laughs and you play around there a little bit. What of you then, Carlo? How have you processed what happened? Things have... If you haven't tried to put a stop to it, then you've probably spent quite a lot of time with Nadina as well over these last few days.
A little, yes. It's a nice distraction. Don't really know what I think about the bigger picture, though. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a genius by any means. I just want to get this over with and find those who've wronged me and wipe them from space. All I can think is, well, if they are the Nazarene, well then they've somehow survived. Somehow some of them survived. Somehow they found a way to dwell in the space, well, between the darkness between the stars. Somehow they have technology. I don't know where that technology comes from, but at the end of the day, there's lots of things, even in the known universe, I don't know exactly how it works. They have technology, they have motive, they have a desire. I'm not entirely sure what the grand scheme is, but I can assume whatever it is ends with the destruction of those they feel have wronged them. It's what I would do. To destroy the hegemony, to destroy Coriolis, to take this horizon, dedicate it to what, their god? Their emissary? I don't know what the emissaries are, but they do exist. That is known. They are here. They are not just humans pretending to be something with fancy technology. Although then again, maybe not, now I think about it. What if there are other beings out there that have similar technology? What if they are, dare I say, aliens? It's not something that's impossible. Just because it hasn't really happened in space doesn't mean it's impossible. There are life forms out there, after all, that aren't human. I don't know. All I know is I need to try and find a way to survive, and then stop them. I don't care why they try to kill my family. They try to kill my family, and I am going to make them all pay. And then when that's done, maybe then I can finally relax.
So you're standing there now in the cockpit of the Red Moon, and you're looking out over all these ships in the queue to the portal. And there's a radio message that comes in. Vessel Red Moon in the fleet of Emir Ramalan the Elder, Lord of Darbari. This is the Alit Sama. Prepare to welcome a boarding party. Your ship will be searched for contraband. Nadina nods to you. It's protocol. We have no contraband. I mean, make sure the discs aren't, very obviously visible, but as soon as we do that, everything else should be fine, I think. She looks to you and Aisha as well, Pig.
I'd say get the things that are sensitive material. Let's put them in the smuggler's stash, including the bit of molten metal. All blood and stuff like that indicates violence has been done recently. We've washed away.
Exactly. And also don't forget our clothing. I already am reaching into some of the cupboards, because obviously we want to look the part of good Dabrani pilgrims.
Indeed, you begin preparing your disguise and putting away the things that you don't want the martyrs to find. But you have only just begun your preparations, as Aisha speaks. There's something odd on the scopes. The portal just it fluctuated and expanded, and there's a region of space outside the portal that is completely empty now. There's no readings at all. Just empty. That's very strange. She looks up to you, Carlo, and to you, Pig.
It's the butterflies. They're coming. They're cloaked.
Alarms begin blaring, and Suleiman speaks.
Sahib, I detect a coronal mass ejection from the Uharu star. Shockwave incoming.
Aisha starts bringing up a video feed of the star.
No time to frown. I go to the cockpit. We no longer have time to be boarded. We need to do evasive maneuvers and get away from this shockwave.
You see on the video feed that Aisha has brought up how the freighters and the monastery cruisers have already been hit by the shockwave. The smaller freighters and destroyers near the star are actually ripped apart. One of the monastery cruisers goes dark as the reactor seemingly shuts down. And that's when you notice, Carlo, how the Red Moon has lost propulsion, forward propulsion. The engines are going, but you're stuck. You're not moving. And then the ship is being pulled. It's being pulled towards the portal. Your sensors are whining and crackling, and alarms are blaring across the bridge.
There has to be something we can do to resist this pull.
Deathlord, on me, I say, and I start running down towards the engineering bay, where we would possibly be able to do any kind of, trimming of the engines or working around any faulty systems.
And the boy follows you as you head towards the engineering area. Carlo, I would like you to roll a data gem +1 or a science test.
And on a data gem +1 roll, I get 1 success, which was the +1 you gave me.
The portals appear still active, but you see one thing that is extremely disconcerting. The portal is rapidly destabilizing. It's going to collapse. If you don't want to be stuck in Uharu for the foreseeable time, you have to go. Anywhere but here, you have to jump.
I close my eyes. Blind jumps are extremely dangerous and not a good idea, but whatever's happening, I have a feeling that if we stay in this system, we are screwed. We were about to be boarded. Never mind what will happen if we stay here too long, and this information needs to get out. I will quickly say, preparing for blind jump, engines at max, Pig, give it everything we've got.
Yeah, I got that, Carlo. Hold on to something, I say to Deathlord.
And Pig, can we get a technology roll from you then, perhaps?
I get 2 successes.
Thanks to the extra oomph in the engines that Pig is giving you, you are able to get to the most suitable position that you can possibly get to in relation to this portal, given the time pressure that you are under. I'm now going to need you to roll a pilot -3. And Nadina is standing next to you. She has her hand on your shoulder.
I grip the piloting controls. I strain for a moment. I close my eyes. Sometimes you need peace. That's what they teach at the academy. All the noise and confusion of space can sometimes distract. I need to calculate a jump route. I need to do it. I need to not be distracted. I roll 2 successes.
The portal collapses behind you as you jump. Eternal darkness. Icy chills crawl through your veins like snakes. Trapped in a nightmare between gnawing whispers in the depths of your minds and your own screams of terror as the portal field has devoured your ship. You are earthworms desperately digging to escape the Dabaran sun. You are Miran carp suffocating in a fisherman's net. You feel death's fetid breath on your necks. But you see a distant light at the end of the darkness. Awakening. You jolt awake, shaking in fear, but finally free of the hellscape. Satin sheets, marble floors, a warm sun through light curtains. Potted plants and herbs cover the tables and shelves around you, softening the hissing and beeping of medical machinery. You have seemingly survived the darkness of the portals. It's a new dawn and a new world. Pig, Carlo. You wake up in the same room, beds next to each other. The room is lavishly adorned. Rare plants and medicinal herbs in pots cover every shelf in the room, and here and there they are sharing the space with burners for traditional incense. You know what this is. It's traditionally used to exorcise the darkness of hypersickness for those poor souls who jump without being in stasis. What do you do as the two of you come back into consciousness and see each other there in beds wearing medical gowns?
I mean, if I can, I'm going to sit bolt upright and try and find my weapons, find out where I am. I don't understand how I'm here. How can I be here? How did the jump... Did I make it? Did it work? Who picked us up?
As you try to get up, you feel a bit weak still, but you're able to at least sit up in the bed. Pig, what have you?
I try to grasp what just happened. Where are we, Zanoni? Oh, is this Kua?
I don't know. I'm trying to rack my brains. Was I successful? What happens during blind jumps normally? Obviously we weren't in stasis, so we experienced something quite unpleasant, but do I know anything about what normally happens when blind jumps are made?
Well, the people who go through it, when they come out on the other side, they often carry various scars that the darkness leaves behind. Their minds are usually not what they were, but you feel fine. You feel fine.
Other than being extremely discombobulated, I stagger to try and get out of the bed and then go to a window then. Where are we?
You look out through the window. You see that you're quite far up. Down there is the conglomerate. Yes, Carlo, you were here not all that long ago. This is the same hospital where your family was being treated. Sedalian sandstone, Kuan Highland marble welcomes you back. The drapes have Cenethian prints, and they're gently swaying in the warm breeze, and the faint sounds of the sleepless conglomerate is coming from somewhere way below there.
Then I did it. I calculated the jump correctly. I understand. Obviously we weren't conscious, but I think I did it then. We got out of the system. We should not have been able to. If we'd failed, we'd be dead or stranded.
You magnificent bastard, you... I sit rubbing my head and my back. I guess you did it. But did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that darkness? Did you see something getting born in the darkness like a spark coming alive?
I felt a planet suddenly shift. Oh, by the icons. I go back to the bed. I'm not entirely relaxed. I'm still a bit suspicious, but maybe I can rest. I'll sit down. But I don't understand. How did we... Did I jump us all the way into Kua airspace?
We must have taken the Tabaran Circle somehow. I don't know. Or if we've been picked up. I mean, they knew we were going there. No. Where's the moon? Where's the red moon? I try to get out on shaky legs, out of the bed.
As you do that, a man, smartly dressed in a strict white coat and with a crescent moon in gold on his cheek, comes up to the both of you, smiling. There, no need to exert yourselves. Please, rest. You're safe here. I'm Chief Medicurg Minash al-Harim, and you are in the Esplanade of Thousands on the Monolith, the Peruna Kui Hospital.
Well, thanks, Medicurg. What's our condition?
You have been suffering from hypersickness, and our spider doctors and priests have, they've had to work very hard to exorcise the darkness from you. But I'm pleased to report that we think we have been successful. You should be feeling, perhaps a bit weak, but aside from that, you shouldn't have any lasting scars from what must have been a very unpleasant experience.
What's the status on the ship and the rest of the crew?
Don't worry about your crew. Aisha Zinone and your little deckhand, they're resting in the room next door. The ship has also been recovered, as I understood, from your brother.
My brother Corel has our ship.
Yes, there are people who will want to see you. Him probably first among them. They've been waiting to see you for a while now. Your return was miraculous. The icons must truly have smiled at you. A traveler guiding you back from the darkness between the portals.
What of... There was someone... a Nadina? There's another crew member, goes by Nadina.
It's only the four of you that have come here. He stops himself and then he scratches his cheek. I don't know how to say this, so I will just say it, and perhaps you'd better sit down.
I do lie down at this, and I give a sigh.
I'll stand. Weakly, though.
Your expedition, it departed in the segment of the Messenger, just after the Cyclade, between Coriolis Cycle 61 and 62. The Cyclade is only days away. You've been lost for almost a full cycle. Coriolis Cycle 63 is about to begin. You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Mercy of the Icons for Coriolis, which is published by Free League. In this third part, we're taking on The Last Cyclade. The music was created by AlphaZone and Sabled Sun, and was used with permission from their label, Cryochamber. Please check out cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more of their lovely dark ambient. We also used the official Coriolis soundtrack by Stars on the Black Sea. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon: Martin Heuschober, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Bob Lange, Cameron, Graham Barey, Doug Thomson, Lily, Mike Parker, and Maciej for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Divinity Lost, Call of Cthulhu, and Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay there. And you can also get early and raw access to all of our recordings and hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play some Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember that Uhaya has traversed the darkness to guide us.